Your dungeon master has placed you in a dreadfully precarious position. You're playing the most phenomenal game ever created. Your skin grows cold from your first glimpse of the enormous beast. It's a product of your imagination. Survival depends on a quick, decisive move. Your choices are limited. Stand and fight, or run. Use your lightning bolt. Victory is yours.
Win the treasure.
TSR Hobbies, Dungeons & Dragons game. Products of your imagination.
Hello and welcome back to our channel. This is Torchlit Gaming. I am John, he is Justin. Today's video is going to be a continuation of where we left off with episode 1. We're each going to show off a few interesting items from our gaming collection. We've got everything from art books to old cartridges to board games and everything else in between. We're going to take turns talking about why each item is interesting or nostalgic for us. We're going to try not to run quite as long as we did last time. We overestimated how much gaming stuff we could show in an hour and underestimated how long-winded and nostalgic we would both get when it comes to reminiscing about that. So Justin, thanks as always for putting the stream together for us.
Absolutely.
And we can jump right in and feel free to kick us off.
Okay, so the first thing I'll show this time is so there's been multiple iterations of My Nintendo over the years. There's been My Nintendo, which is the current iteration. You can get some stuff from that. There, My Nintendo, and then the previous one was called Club Nintendo. And honestly, I think Club Nintendo had better stuff, but I digress. So the first thing I want to show is from My Nintendo. I think they're little cool little things. So like, they have a Legend of Zelda Hylian Shield like phone. What do they call this thing?
Pop it, or
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
is that one a kickstand too?
Yeah, you can stick it on the back, and I clearly haven't used it yet because I've been really afraid to like stick it to something and it never be useful again. But I think I'm gonna get a case for my ebook, my ebook reader, and stick it on that. But I have this one, and I also have this one, the sword from Xenoblade Chronicles, and I think that what's cool is, it's just cool little, I guess, tchotchkes is what you would call them. Uh, my Nintendo has some pretty cool stuff from time to time, like calendars and bags and stuff like that. I have this from Club Nintendo. I think you can get this uh, as like a normal thing now, but this is my Hanafuda card set from Club Nintendo. I actually didn't buy this when Club Nintendo was a thing. I got it off eBay after Club Nintendo went under. Um, but it's pretty cool. It's a full Hanafuda set that has Mario characters on it. And in case you don't know, Hanafuda is a Japanese card game. It's actually how Nintendo got their start is with Hanafuda cards and other Western playing cards back in like 1886 or something like that. And so here's that. You can see Wario. And I know how to play the game only because of Clubhouse Games 51 or whatever. I can't tell you the rules or anything how now. I'm pretty sure it's you collect runs or something. I can't exactly remember, um but yeah, and actually I'm pretty sure speaking of in Clubhouse Games, you can get a Mario set as like one of the skins. Could be wrong on that. Uh I do recall you can get Mario skins on some of the other card games. Yeah, but also of interest is they had when Pokemon X and Y came out, they had a Pokemon X and Y Hanafuda set that came out. And that one is more limited, and that one costs a ridiculous amount of money. People are actually grading the individual cards from the X and Y set. And some of the individual cards, I think Charizard might have been one of them, go for like $100 to $200. So, those Pokemon collectors still collect anything, I guess. Yeah, see
Now
this
those
one.
are about, I would say, half the size of most collectible card game cards.
Uh,
Um,
yeah,
are
so
all of the are all the various Hanafuda cards about that size, or
yeah, they are. But
be
yeah, here
really
it is.
interesting
Yeah.
to learn how to play it and actually play those games and be interesting.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that on a stream one day. Just go through Clubhouse 51 and play through some of my favorite games on there because, it'd be cool.
And
Let's
you
see.
said you got those on eBay, but the other thing you showed before, now how did they send that to you? Was that in the mail?
Yeah. Yep.
Did
Uh,
Nintendo still do that, or they don't do that anymore?
they do My Nintendo. You can still get stuff off My Nintendo. They have like I got an Animal Crossing bandana off of there. I got trying to think. Um, what else did I get off there? Crap, I can't remember. I got a lot of stuff off of there because the trick is, for me at least, is to play the Fire Emblem mobile game, and that racks you up silver points, and then you can just use those to get the stuff. They had like buttons, they have like full pins, they have trying to remember, they have all sorts of stuff. And like I think
Kind of
what
reminds me of the silver points from Chrono Trigger.
yeah, I was thinking that too. I don't have to beat Gato up for those, so yeah, it's all good.
Exactly.
But I think Club Nintendo was pretty cool. They had like a whole like one of the last things I think it was one of the last things they had was this like it's almost like a snow globe, like like a resin cast, but without the globe. And it had like all the Mario characters like Bowser, Yoshi, like all sitting in a circle, and it was cool. Um, they had where you could get like I think it was like I think it held Wii games, but it was in the shape of like a Wii remote, if I remember correctly. There's all sorts of crazy stuff on there. I'll have to. One thing I want to do soon is like do more like what I want to call gaming archaeology, where I like find stuff from the past and like go over it like Club Nintendo and stuff. But anyway, I'm breaking the fourth wall there. But so yeah, so that's what I had to show for the first thing. What do you got for us?
All right. Well, I've been doing a little gaming archaeology of my own. Been going through the closets, finding some stuff. Now, this first thing I'm going to show is a little more recent. I didn't have to dig too far into the closet, but I did kind of forget that I had this. This is a book, pretty thick book. It is Playing with Superpower. It is focused on SNES games. You can kind of look at which games are featured there, and then the interesting thing here is that you're going to see Kirby twice. The reason is because there's a separate article, well, or however you want to call it, walkthroughs, cheats, speed running strats and everything. There's one for Kirby Superstar right there, and then there's Kirby's Dream Course, which is the golf style Kirby game over there. Each one of these is, I believe, each one of these games is on the SNES Classic, and I think that's around the time that this came out. It originally retailed, if you care, for about 19.99 there. Um, this is, I believe this is Prima. It says Prima Games, We Are Strategy. There's actually even a code. I don't know if this code might even work right now. I don't know. It's some kind of code to unlock a free guide.
Hmm.
So if anyone wants to steal that, go right ahead. But this really goes in depth. Here's some of the contents. This really goes in depth on individual games for Super Nintendo.
Wow.
Much more in depth than I thought. As you can see there, there's even a little look at a blueprint or a schematic drawing of the SNES itself. This just goes so detailed. There's a whole section called Super Fans that you can see. This is like artwork that people actually made in different mediums like painting, drawing, and so on. There's really good game artwork in this too. I think it's it's 320 pages.
Wow.
I'm not gonna cover it all. Obviously, it would take too long, but You got a whole opening thing on the launch titles here. A lifespan. It says, well, here's a trivia question for you. Do you know how many games were officially released for the Super Nintendo?
Mm, I used to know this. Hang on. It's some crazy
Pretty on
high
the spot.
number.
It is
Is
crazy high.
is it worldwide? I'm guessing
It
yes.
says, no, it tells the Super Famicom is separate.
Okay, okay.
It tells
So
you that too.
I'm gonna say in the US, I'm gonna say 1,300.
All right, so in the US, it says 783 games were officially
That's way
released
off.
for the SNES. 200 were North American exclusives, but then the Super Famicom has almost twice as many,
That's
uh,
okay. Yep.
1,447 games for the Super Famicom, and then an extra 230 for just the Satellaview.
Wow,
So
that's way more than I thought. Okay, I know I got that number from somewhere, but yeah.
here's another look at some of the blueprints and drawings. There's a look at some early iterations and mock-ups for what the console would look like. As you can see in that big picture, it took on a more NES style look before they eventually got to this style. So this is really not just the games; it's the history of the console. There's a whole article on. Um, here's like a screenshot from Nintendo Power where people ask like the most common questions about the SNES. Would it play NES games? What is 16 bits? So on and so on. Um, and this tells you it's called Under the Hood, and it tells you about. Uh, here's a graphical look at the original Zelda versus the 16-bit Zelda. Same with Metroid and Super Metroid, and then you have NES Donkey Kong, and then Donkey Kong Country. Um, see what else do we have here? And then it goes on. It does show you. So this was made later because it even has the Switch in here.
Mm,
Has the
hmm
tells you the release dates and uh, some specs of the system, like what's the CPU speed and so on. Um,
Here's an alternative fun fact talking about games release. For the Nintendo 64, do you know how many games were released for the Nintendo 64?
for US or
Entirely.
for US and international,
Hmm
I'm gonna say it's pretty high. I'm gonna guess like 1,000.
Nope. I think in the US alone it was like 134 titles.
Wow.
Yeah, it did not have very many games at all because of the rising cost of cartridges, I think. Something like that. Yeah, it's crazy when you see like, and I'm bringing up the point because the Super Nintendo's output was so high, and then the next system they had, the N64, the output was so low that it always blows people's minds. So like when people are like, "Oh, I want all these games to come out for Virtual Console or NSO," I'm like, "There's only so many." Like it's there's and but what's crazy is the games we remember for N64 are really good, so that's what makes us think that there's more than there actually are. But compared to PlayStation, which had like thousands. It always
I figured you
blows my
were
mind.
going to. I figured you were gonna. Uh, it was gonna be a trick question, and there was gonna be like a whole bunch of Japanese releases or something. But
It's there's not that many. In fact, I'm gonna look it up really really quick here
there's a
because
fun fact. A fun fact about the oxidation of the Super Nintendo and why it has that yellowing look. Have you
Mhm.
ever heard of that before? About the reason?
Was it something to do with the plastic? It was like
It
ABS
says
or not ABS,
it
but
says the flame retardant chemicals that were used
mm,
on the
there
case
you go.
were susceptible to oxidation, but you can actually reverse it by using some household cleaning agents.
Okay, here we go. I got the full official N64 list. There were a total of 388 games released for the Nintendo 64 worldwide. Only
Wow.
85 were sold exclusively in Japan. And the Wikipedia article says, for comparison, the PlayStation received 4,105 games, and even the Saturn got over 1,000 games. So yeah, there you go.
Wow.
That's insane.
This also tells you about the top 20 best-selling games for the system, and that includes U.S. and international sales. Some interesting additions on the list. I wasn't expecting Chrono Trigger to crack the top 20, but it did.
Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, but that's the thing, it's worldwide. So I think in Japan, Chrono Trigger sold like over 1 million units or something like that.
There's Yoshi's appearance in the Super Mario Brothers live action movie.
That's wild.
So the thing that I like about this, and as you can see, it's got big, long maps and stuff that you would see in old strategy guides and a lot of good animations. But the thing that really surprised me, and I'm looking to try to find it, is the speed running. It devotes a lot to speed running in each game, um, and it tells you the names of the speedrunners, and it gives very detailed strategies. Like I wasn't expecting this guide to explain how to duplicate blocks
Hmm.
in real world. Um, and it actually kind of grades them. It goes under like basic speed running, and then you got advanced speed running, like how to do a Yoshi clip, how to do a Morton fly, groovy boss kill. That's called a GBK. I'm sure any speedrunners who are watching would be familiar with that. The orb glitch, how to duplicate Yoshi wings, and it's got expert strategies too. And it shows you every other Super Mario, game mainline that was released: DS, Wii, Game Boy Advance, and so on.
What
It even goes
what's been your favorite
Odyssey.
Mario game?
Well, for one of the retro Mario games, I would say um, I just enjoy Super Mario All Stars for a retro game. It's just, to me, I like playing the original game, but I like Super Mario Bros. But I like it better with the 16-bit graphics. Some people might say, as a purist, they might disagree with that, but I like the Super Mario All Stars for retro. But I will say for a more modern game, I like Super Mario Wonder. That's what it's called, or Mario Brothers Wonder, whichever one it's called. I
Yeah,
like that one.
Wonder's great. Um, I think for me, it's World and Wonder probably.
Yeah, I haven't gotten extremely far in it, but I'm liking it. Yeah, there's even like this is Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. There's even long articles about the development of the games,
Mm,
and how they design the characters and so on.
that's
And
cool.
the speed running strategies is what really got my attention. Trying to find it in. There's even a few. Every entry has something called Super Nostalgia, where they go back through some Nintendo Power. I think you actually have some of these, um, like where they actually have the Nintendo Power comics.
That may or may not be a spoiler.
Yeah. Uh, um, may or may not be. Let's see. And then at the end of each entry, they have something they call 16 bits, and it gives you like 16 different fun facts about that game. So
Mm,
they really put a lot of time and effort into creating this. And then again, it's called confidential information, and it actually names the speedrunner. This is speedrunner Zelna, who I'm sure people know in the speedrunning scene. But then it goes into strategies there. You got your basic strategies, um, then you got your advanced strategies, your expert strategies. I'm shocked at the level of detail, and usually like when you're hearing about all the speedrun stuff, you're watching a YouTube video, but actually like reading it in print was kind of like surprising to me that they actually, printed out all these speedrunning strats. There's the more modern Zelda games, all of which are great.
yeah.
All those are great games. But Yeah, I could. Here's the speedrunning strats for what is it? Star Fox. They don't leave any game, no game left behind. They all cover it the same way. They've even got a more recent game, Star Fox 2, which was
What?
only released when the SNES Classic came out, and there's the FX chip that we spent some time talking about recently on one of our podcasts.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I still think that
Um,
was one of the coolest bonuses of the SNES Classic was having that unreleased game.
yep. Um, so yeah, long articles on Metroid and the timeline. Um, is it doesn't go to Dread yet, but trying to think, is there anything else? There's a lot of good stuff in here, and there's more screen shots from Nintendo Power. Get a little bit of that. That's for Kirby's Dream Course there. Um, and then, as I said, the super fans. Uh, you got some very interesting. Like someone actually sent in a picture of a Boo in their coffee mug. That they said that was Boo in their coffee mug. I
All
mean,
right.
y'all think there's a resemblance? I mean, a little bit. I'm
Mm-hmm,
kind of
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
seeing it, but yeah. I could really, go on and on about this book, but I'll leave it there. Lots of stuff to see. Just these are more creations
Shadow
that
boxes,
people
that's
do
cool.
in there. Yeah, shadow boxes. That's the word I was looking for. That people make in their spare time. Um, there's even some articles about video game concerts.
Mm. Mr. Tommy Tallarico, I think his name is, who tried to bring back the
Yep.
Intellivision and it
Yeah,
didn't
and I
work.
think he composed a lot for Sega, didn't he? For Sega
Yeah,
games.
I think he did Earthworm Jim's soundtrack, maybe.
That's a cool looking console right there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like
I
those.
think
I don't know
that's a
how they did that.
Super Famicom, I think.
Yeah, it looks like it.
That is
But
cool.
no. So maybe
Hmm.
maybe in the future we'll show more from the book. I don't know. I can't remember where I got this book from. Might have been a bookstore, but if you see it out in the wild, it's definitely worth picking up.
Yeah.
Superpower. Now you're playing.
So what's funny about that is when I saw it on the shelf, I didn't know what it was. I was just like, well, maybe I'll get that. I don't know. But I didn't actually like look through it because I thought it was like some kind of like just a general strategy guide for the games that came with SNES Classic. So I didn't really think twice about it. But now I'm kicking myself because there's so much cool crap in there.
Definitely.
There's a lot of cool stuff in there.
What else do
Okay.
you have for us?
Well, I guess I'll do this next since you kind of brought it up. I do in fact have the Nintendo Power Collection of the Zelda and Mario comics. I'm pretty sure it's a compilation of every single one that came out in Nintendo Power. They've been put in here. I actually got this from a friend that I worked with when I worked at National Vision. He gave these to me because he was cleaning out his game stuff, and he's like, "Here you go. You want this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take it. Thanks." Just the little comics. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Got, I think in these comics, it was the first appearance of Wario before he appeared in game. Like this was to like hype it up, I think. I could be wrong. I could be misremembering that, but I could have sworn that was that. So this is pretty neat. I mean, it's not very thick. It's a neat little collection. I don't even know if this is like produced anymore, but it's pretty cool. And then the Zelda one's way thicker because I think it ran for longer. But It retells Link to the Past pretty well, I think.
Now,
Of
I got
course.
a question for you.
Hmm?
In the Link to the Past game,
Hmm.
Link has pink hair.
Hmm.
Um, However, in all of the printed media and comics and everything, he has, blondish hair.
Hmm.
What's the deal?
If I had to guess, and this is strictly a guess on my behalf, I bet if back on SNES, there's probably a reason that if they made it blonde, maybe it would blend in too much with their backgrounds or other like enemies and stuff. And so they probably made it a more bright colored so it didn't blend in with like sand and all that stuff. But that's a guess. I could be wrong. Anybody's welcome to correct me. But I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. I don't even know what the hell
I
that
think
is.
I saw a Did You Know Gaming and they kind of talked about it, but I just haven't yet found a satisfactory answer.
Yeah, that's my guess. Let me see if there's anything. Hey, here's the Zora
That's cool.
before they turned them into sexy fish people
Now, do you
in
know
late.
if those comics were those comics put out before the release of the game or after?
Um, I wonder if it says. Let's find out. Um, it just says copyright 1993, previously published as a comic in volumes 32 to 43, copyright 1992. So it probably came out before and during, I would guess. Um, that is my. Oh, hey, it looks like that's one of the. I think that's how they get into the dark world, maybe because
Looks like those medallions in the game.
he starts turning into a beast.
Huh.
See, yeah, the light. No, there's a beast. You penetrated the gate. Yeah, see, you penetrated the gate to the dark world, that wicked realm.
Now, a lot of the time, when you're reading a graphic novel from Japan, it's from right to left, but
Hmm.
they have done us the courtesy of making it left to right, which is easier for most of us. But
Also, remember it came out in an American magazine,
mhm.
so I'm
Now, what's the
pretty.
dragon? Almost looks
Um,
like Shenron from DBZ.
there was a dragon boss. There was one in Ocarina of Time. I'm trying to remember if it was in to the Past too. Like I'm trying to go back. It's been a minute since I played Link to the Past. I know there was. Yeah, there's the two-headed. No, no, I'm thinking of the thing with the armor on its head. Uh, I don't remember. I thought there was. Hmm. Want to look that
I think
up.
it's called. I just looked at it. I think it might be Trinex, but that's like the three-headed dragon that you fight.
Could be that. Could be. The other thing I wanted to show, it's loosely related to Nintendo Power and magazines and stuff. So this is something I've had since 1999, 2000, somewhere in there. And it is the American advertisement for Paper Mario. Now,
It's paper.
when this was a full page, it said free demo cut here because it was Paper Mario. So you would cut it out and that then you could pretend you're playing Paper Mario in real life. I thought this was the coolest advertisement, so I cut it out and kept it.
And I wonder if Nintendo had realized that that was going to be a major standalone, you know, series that had a lot of following up games to it. Paper Mario has become a major part of Nintendo's, Mario universe.
Yeah, and I think the funny thing about this is when this was coming out, this was going to be Super Mario RPG 2 before they completely changed how the game looked and worked and everything. For the longest time, it was being touted as Mario RPG 2, which is, of course, the follow-up to the Squaresoft Classic. But then they changed how it was going to work and everything, and the rest is history. But what's funny to me that not a lot of people know that are, I mean, some people might know, but the Mario and Luigi series that started on Game Boy Advance, that's actually the spiritual successor to Super Mario RPG. Because I believe Alpha Dream was the developer of that, and a lot of the people that used to work on Mario RPG and other Square games left Square and formed Alpha Dream, and they're the ones that worked on the Mario and Luigi series from then
The
forth.
Superstar Saga.
Yeah, and in one of the games, in fact, they have I think it's a roulette, and when you match certain ones, sometimes Geno pops out from Mario RPG, and you can see Geno, uh, you know, as a little cameo. So yeah, so not a lot of people know that. Of course, Alpha Dream's gone now; they went under, but they still made a Mario and Luigi game, Brothership. I'm actually in the middle of playing it and writing a review, but and it's fine. I mean, you can tell a lot of the inspiration from Mario RPG is in Mario and Luigi, like timed hits and all that stuff. And I think it's they're good games. And I actually remember not liking Paper Mario, like the idea of it. I'm like, man, this looks dumb, blah blah blah. And so I kind of like stayed away from it from a little while. But then like the Thousand Year Door came out, and I played through that, and I was like, man, Paper Mario is awesome. So it was just such a change because of the partner system and the badges and all that stuff. It wasn't like, Mario RPG that I grew up with, but yeah, I think Mario has had some really good RPG games come out under their banner. So anyway, it's you're up.
Yeah, I also really like the dialogue that I guess it's an Alpha Dream thing with the humor that they add to the game.
Hmm.
The older Mario games that me and you grew up playing, there was no
Hmm.
text except your princess is in another castle. That was the only text in the game.
Yeah.
Um, but I like they added some nice touches on all the dialogue. But so the next thing I want to show here is this is a little different, but I have this box. Uh,
Hmm.
it's called Gamer Drop. Now, this was a giveaway at Walmart. They were giving these away. They only had, limited. Like once they gave them out, that was it. But
Hmm.
they would set up back by the electronics department in the middle, of the aisle where everybody's passing through. And it's just like when you go to a store and somebody has like samples that they're giving out,
Hmm.
but they were giving out these huge things for samples. So I was like, okay, let me get one of those. And I'm going to go ahead and open her up. And I've opened this before, but there's some pretty neat stuff here that I had forgotten about. So take a look inside. They actually put quite a bit in here. And then when you open it, it says, let me see if I can hold it up. It says, enjoy all of these amazing power ups. And then what's that say? Walmart.com/gamerdrop. I don't think I've ever gone to that site. I'm not sure what would be there. Hashtag Walmart, hashtag GamerDrop. Um,
We're not sponsored, by the way.
yeah, I was just reading what it said, but not yet. But.
Not yet, right?
So here's what's included. You got a little mini wireless speaker. Those are
Oh,
always handy.
that's cool.
Um, I guess those are the different colors that it could come in, but this one is black.
Wait, all this stuff was
Um,
free?
yes, this was free. Actually, it almost looks like a toad. I never even opened this before. It almost looks like a toad. It's from Verizon. There's the power button.
That's
And
pretty
it actually
cool.
has a suction cup base. So I mean, I don't know. Would you put this in your shower? I don't know where you'd suction it. Um, and I'm not sure, but the eyes are buttons. So I'm not sure if that's probably volume up and volume down. Then you can see the little speaker holes are on the underside of this cap. So yeah, Verizon.
That's
And it
interesting.
comes with a little cable there. It's a micro USB cable with the USB on the other side. But yeah, mini wireless speaker. And it looks like, oh, it actually does have a little diagram here. It shows you what the buttons on the eyes do, and the top is play and pause. So I guess it came in
Oh,
all those different colors.
and it has
But
a silicon sucker or
yeah, it says
silicone
it calls it
sucker.
a silicon sucker. It
Uh-huh.
actually tells you what's the specifications and the technical details of the speaker too, if you
Uh,
ever needed to know that. Made in China.
that's that's pretty cool for free, honestly.
Yep. So that's the first thing I said here. Then you got this little
Ah,
Xbox beanie. Um,
nice.
I'm sure I will open this at some point, but yeah, little Xbox beanie. Um, that's the Xbox One style, so it's the more modern stylization of the word there.
What year do you think
Pretty
they
neat.
gave these out?
Within the last 3 years, I would say last 2 or 3.
Mm.
Um, and I'll go ahead and have a little spoiler for a future episode. I have another gamer drop thing that will be unboxed in the future, so you'll have to stick around. This this is I think an Xbox flag. Um,
Hmm. All
let's
right,
see.
that's
I'm gonna
cool.
I'm gonna I'm gonna open her up, and
No, it could be valuable.
I'm not sure if I can fold this back, but I will try.
Oh, that's cool.
Little Xbox flag with some holes there on the bottom.
What do they call those? Rivets?
Rivets. Yes. I'm not sure if this would be front yard worthy. If you'd want to show everybody in the neighborhood, hey, no PlayStation at this house. We're rocking with the box.
Right,
So
exactly.
got that. Just gonna put it back. Uh, but wait, there's more. Um,
Mm.
see what else they included in this thing. So they put in a little Funko Pop,
Oh, that's
and this is
cool.
Apex Legends. Have you played Apex
Hmm.
Legends? I have not.
Yeah, I actually have played it with my kids too.
And it's the Revenant. Sorry, there's really bad glare on that. Go ahead and open this Revenant up.
They actually did a Final Fantasy VII crossover recently.
Yeah, there's the Revenant.
Very cool.
I'm not sure what is it carrying. It's just carrying a skull. Pretty
Hmm.
neat.
Mm-hmm. I knocked over
What
I knocked over my pops earlier, and Robert Smith went into the trash, and I was kind of sad. So I'm glad
do
your
you have
pops
any?
are.
Do you have any Apex Legends Funko Pop?
I do not. I
This
don't
is
even know if.
number 872, so they sure do have a lot.
Oh, I was about to say I don't think I have any video game ones, but I do. I have Fallout pops. I forgot about those.
I guess I answered my own question here. You've got Crypto, Octane, Watson, and then Revenant.
Very cool. I bet there's more of those than that. I bet they've made like tons of those series.
Most likely. Let's see what else we got here in this box. This is neat. Uh, got this patch with the Walmart Spark logo, and it says "Game On." This is an embroiderable patch here.
That's cool.
You put it on a backpack or whatever, a jacket.
Didn't they just change the
Um,
logo recently?
they actually did change the logo, but it's barely a change. I think it's just a different font. But
Mm.
got that patch. They were really pushing the MetaQuest. It's a little sticker sheet. Steel stick, cover your world. MetaQuest. So you got what are those, like $400 a piece or $500 depending on which one you get, the VR headset.
That was a Quest 2. I actually have one of those. They are onto the Quest 3, and those are probably $300 or $400. They're pretty cool. You can actually see the world around you now in color. It's pretty neat.
Uh, I answered your question earlier about when this was given away, and it was in 2022, Gamer Drop 2022. Now here's a little ad, a little one pager for Madden 23, which would be coming out. I think John Madden uh, passed away after this. He passed away within, I think, the last year and a half or so. So there's a barcode you can scan for a Madden 23. If you buy Madden NFL 23 at Walmart, you receive a Madden Steelbook.
Hmm.
That's a little only at Walmart. It says it's a pretty decent little promo uh, for that. Then you've got a promo here for Monster Truck Championship Gamer Rewards. It says it's $55 value. I don't know what is Nacon. Gamer Rewards from Nacon.
Yeah, I've never heard of
Um,
Nikon.
it says Walmart, Rig, Maximum Games, and then Dolby. And open it up. You got, okay, Rig is apparently some Xbox headphones, and they're available at Walmart. They're only $29.88, which is not a bad price if you
Hmm.
buy some gaming headsets. What else is here? Session and Steel Rising. It looks like a skating game. I'm not sure. I don't know anything about those games. Not sure if you do. And then this Monster Truck Championship with Dolby Atmos. And again, there's a Dolby activation code. So if you want to take advantage of it, you can be our
Ooh.
guest. That's your bonus. That's your bonus for just pause the video right there. That's your bonus for checking us out on Torchlit. And here's what you've been missing with Dolby Atmos. Um, it says it's a leap beyond surround sound. Unleash precision audio to elevate your game. It has a okay. That code apparently activates you for 1 year with Dolby Atmos on your PC or on your Xbox.
That's actually pretty good. I think it's normally
That
like
is a good
15.
deal.
I think it's normally like
I don't know
15,
if that's
20.
don't know if it's still valid or not. And then at the bottom of this box here, I picked up two of these little books, and this is Walmart 2022 Gamer Drop. On the front, it has God of War Ragnarok, fantastic game. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, and Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. So it's representing each of the three main current generation consoles.
Hmm.
On the back it says esports arena is your first step into esports. See what all is in here. You've got your controllers there. I have an Arctic Forces controller, which kind of looks like that blue camo one, but it's more like white and gray. Uh, Tis the season to play. This must have been given out around Christmas time. I would guess anyway from that advertisement. Um, God of War Ragnarok launch edition. Um, here's some games for PlayStation, PS5 games, Gran Turismo 7. Then you've got the console and the digital version and the disc version. Here's Splatoon
Ah,
3.
Splatoon, yeah. Oh, and is
Uh,
that the OLED Switch?
yep, the white Joy-Con, the OLED model with the white Joy-Con, and then there's your Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and some other Switch games, Animal Crossing, Splatoon, Mario Kart 8, Kirby. There's the MetaQuest, Beat Saber. Resident Evil 4. I didn't know Resident Evil 4 had a MetaQuest bundle.
Mm-hmm. I think it's
Then
the original Resident Evil 4.
you got all the sports games here, FIFA and Madden, and then Gran Turismo, and it says they're on rollbacks. So that would be like a price break.
Mm-hmm.
NBA. I thought these were going to be all sports games, but then they mix in Grand Theft Auto 5 and Saints Row. And here's the games I said I didn't know anything about: Steel Rising and Session. There's the Rig headphone advertisement. Sonic Frontiers. I don't know if that's a good game or not.
You got it going
Elden
up
Ring.
against Elden Ring. Yeah, I was like,
Says those are must-have titles, and it shows Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok. Here's some must-get collectibles, more Funko Pops. So I guess this must have been like things that Walmart had partnerships with at the time, like Funko and MetaQuest. Um, More Funko Pops. They even got Luke Skywalker Funko Pops, Star Wars. That's kind of cool.
mm-hmm.
And some Pokemon, Munchlax, Oshawott, and Espeon. And then it's really just a good advertisement for Walmart. There's the arcade one-ups, the Pac-Man cabinet. Is that the NFL Blitz cabinet? And this is Pac-Man. And then I'll just take this opportunity to point out to my left over here is my Final Fight arcade one-up cabinet that has Final Fight 1944, Ghosts and Goblins, and Strider. Yeah, this one says build your own home arcade in time for the holidays. So this was definitely a promo for trying to capture some electronic sales at the end. Got the Elite controllers for Xbox. I think those are like 160, $170 or something like that. Those are, you know, ostensibly the best controllers that you can get. Got the Nintendo Switch down there. I'm getting towards the end here. Then you got some phones. They've even got a exclusive gamer promotion, so they have a promo deal with Verizon. Um, it says you can upgrade your mobile gaming with Verizon, get $50 when you purchase a new 5G smartphone. So that's a pretty decent deal. Sure it's no longer valid. And then you got Walmart and Paramount Plus, the Halo series that was released on Paramount Plus. This is like a basically, if you subscribe to Walmart Plus subscription service, you can get a Paramount Plus subscription included, which it says is a $59 a year value, and you can start a free trial. And again, I know this sounds like some kind of paid sponsorship. It's not. This is just something that I saw and I was like, let me go get one while they still have some on the table. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I grabbed two of these for whatever reason, but
2022.
That's
It
what's
says it on the front.
yeah, 2022 was the year. And as a tiny little added bonus, while I was going through the closet, um, just looking for stuff, I found something. We have the Xbox beanie and the Xbox flag. So this kind of reminded me as a tie-in. I found something. I'm going to show you here. This is a 3-month subscription, Xbox Live Gold. Come in and play 3 months for Xbox Live Gold. Um, you can use my code, but it won't work. It won't do you any good because I used this a long time ago. This I got with my Xbox 360. When I bought the Xbox 360, this was a bonus that was in the box, and I
Nice.
saved it for whatever reason. And of course, I used it right away because online play was, I
King.
would say, probably at its peak. It was probably peaking with like Xbox 360 and PS3, wasn't it? That was the
Mm-hmm.
counterpart, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, found that little that little gem hiding. Of course, it is no longer known as Xbox Live Gold. It's just known as Game Pass now, right?
Yeah,
Xbox Game Pass.
pretty sure.
Um, but yeah, that's my gamer drop, and as I said, I've got another gamer drop that I can show in the future.
Sweet. All right. All right, I got a couple more things here. A few more. Well, a little more than a couple, but first thing I'm going to show is this awesome I guess you would consider this like a grimoire, but it came with the special edition. Oh, it's upside down. Um, there we go. That looks better. It came with the special edition of, I believe, Shin Megami Tensei 5. I think so. But basically, it's a list of all the demons in the game. It has like an index, and you can like look up all the
Like a
different
best.
team. Yeah, and you can like have it has awesome art and then like an explanation. And then I don't know if I'm going to get censored for this or not, but or if I'm going to get demonetized when I'm not even monetized. But um, so you have like you know Silky, Satana, Kelpie, Jack O' Lantern. Oh yeah, and then you got your Jack Frost and your Pixie and your Succubus. Okay, sure. And then of course it gives you like shows you like the other demons. Oh, here we go. And then we got the old classic Mara. It's just a penis in a wheelchair, basically. And you,
Wow, I don't think I would have identified what that was unless you pointed it out.
oh,
But
people know. But it is what it is. It's part of
yeah,
the
that
game.
was okay. There's a lot of demons in there.
This one's sitting on a
You know, the whole
toilet.
wow, Belphegor.
If it comes down to it, I will cut that other section, but that's okay.
We don't
Uh,
censor here at
that's right.
Torchlit.
That's right.
We
We don't.
stand for fully disclosing.
And then, yeah. And I've been debating, but I think I'll show the other thing at the same time because it's in the same vein. Um, but yeah, there's like I'm on page 47 and I'm only like halfway through this.
And
So
it looks like there's a short biography on every different entry in there.
yep,
It says a gel-like monster said to be the byproduct of a failed summoning.
yeah.
Wow,
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I
interesting.
mean, it was one of the cooler bonuses I've seen,
It
especially as
kind of
somebody.
reminds me of like Castlevania, like the enemies kind of have a Castlevania type vibe to me. Like they're all like some kind of something you'd see in a nightmare.
Yeah, or
Zuzu.
black metal cover.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is pretty cool. I mean,
And then you said that came with Shin Megami Tensei 5.
the first release
Which
of it, yeah.
which platform was that for?
This was for Switch when it originally came out. Um there's also this. This is the re-release. It has more story elements and stuff added to it, and this is when they went multi-platform with it. But the original Shin Megami Tensei 5 is what this is from, and it was only on Switch. Let me see. Yeah, then you got. But being a fan of the series, it's cool because they reuse monsters in most of the games, and yeah, the devil, the devil. The devil is everywhere. Yeah, so it's pretty neat.
They
I
weren't
mean,
they weren't they weren't being subtle about
no,
the dark imagery of these games.
no. And in the vein of video game books that dive into the background, I have FF Dot. What's pretty cool about this book is they brought the original pixel artist back for this book to like dive into the designs and stuff like that. You can even see, oop, can even see the color they used. And actually, no, I don't want to dig that out. I use this to make I use this exact template to make perler bead copies of these. So it's pretty neat.
You know what else that really reminds me of is Mario Paint when
Yeah.
you can edit the stamps. Now,
Hmm.
I don't know what the dimensions are or if they would match, but it almost looks like you could go spot for spot and remake it in Mario Paint stamp editor, but
You
that
could.
would only if the dimensions of it matched up, but that's really cool.
Now, I'm pretty confident, and when I say pretty, I mean like 95%. I'm pretty confident that this was made before the Pixel remasters came out. And I think when they created this book, they were in the process of creating those Pixel remasters. And I say that because when they did the Pixel remasters, like I said, they had the original pixel artist come back and like talk about it. But also, there were some pixel designs that were never before seen before this book. And these particular designs were used for the pixel remasters. So yeah, so I'm pretty sure they made this book at the same time as the Pixel remasters, but it was released before the Pixel remasters came out. So it's kind of cool to see like a little, you know, sneak peek, I guess. But like
And
they go in,
we just say that it's easy to forget or not appreciate the effort that goes into those hand drawn pixel by pixel creating
speaking of,
that art. Yeah, exactly. The layers of a sprite of a an old 2D sprite. Um, just so much care goes into putting those together and drawing those by hand. It's easy to like if you grew up and you didn't really play retro games, it's easy to not you know appreciate or look at a game like Final Fantasy and be like, oh, those 8-bit graphics that kind of they don't look that good to me, but each one of those had to be drawn by hand, and that's pretty impressive when you think about
oh,
it.
I didn't realize this, but they did this thing where you could cut the tower out from Final Fantasy 3 and you can loop it on itself to make this 3D.
That's cool.
Which they actually did in the Pixel remasters, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, see the
Nice.
like this is all from Final Fantasy. And these sprites were new. Like these haven't been shown before. They might have been in um Brave Exvius. I don't remember, but I don't think so. I think these are all new at the time.
Now those are 16-bit, right? Those
Yes.
ones.
Yeah.
So
These this
I
is
mean,
th these are the original designs from Super Nintendo, and this is the new design.
yeah, and that's just fantastic pixel art, and so much time and effort has to go into making that.
And then we
Like when you think
got
about modern games and computer graphics, and they don't have to draw everything by hand in a modern game.
yeah. This is one of the pivotal scenes of Final Fantasy IV. Spoiler alert.
Is that when he's becoming a paladin?
Yes, sir. The,
Okay, Palom and Porom trying to save themselves and save the party.
Mhm. And this is when Golbez and Fus. Dang it. that it's flipped. So this is when Golbez and Fusoya is fighting Zemus right before the end of the game.
Wow.
And they got all the fiends, which
The four fiends.
I love the
Really?
way the four fiends are designed, dude. In the ending cinematic, when Kane takes his helmet off and you're like, oh my God, he's blind.
Wow.
And then you got your Final Fantasy V jobs
Oh.
for each character.
I feel like you
That's
could recreate some of these in Mario Paint when they do the tile by tile.
Final Fantasy VI, the when you eat dinner with the Emperor and you can like go around and talk to all the guards to get a reward. Oh, here you go.
The opera scene.
hmm
Ultros.
Like, look at that. That's oh shit. I'm holding it the wrong way.
Wow.
Dun,
That
dun,
is
dun,
gnarly.
dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. You feel like you're fighting them.
Yes.
Let's see. And then it even like zooms into each part to like so you can really see like the design choices. This book is amazing. I love this book. I haven't looked at it in a while, but oh, and it even does some what would Final Fantasy VII look like as pixel characters as drawn by the original.
I like how they needed two sprite panels to do a red
Yeah.
13.
And then they do Final Fantasy VIII,
That's cool.
and then they do Final Fantasy IX. You can see the style carry over. 10. They even do 11.
Somebody should just demake those, and that'd be fun to play.
12.
Can you imagine playing a SNES style demake of 7 through 12?
Yeah. 13. 14. Man, they did a lot of these. 15.
Wow.
And then they do an interview with the pixel artist, and she reminisces about all that jazz. But yeah, this book is awesome. I highly recommend it. If you're into
Wow.
pixel art, anyway. All right,
Very
what you
cool.
got for us before I show off my last thing that I got?
All right. So last time when we did our first episode of Show and Tell, we started off with Blockbuster Video.
hmm
And we did, the Blockbuster ad didn't really focus on the gaming element, but that was definitely a huge part of going to Blockbuster. If you were a kid and you had, any game system, why you were going to Blockbuster. You were trying to rent some games.
hmm
So I had a few things here with me that reminded me of Blockbuster Video. First one is Kirby Superstar, 8 games in one for the Super
Nice.
Nintendo. And I believe, yeah. So I'll go ahead and show you. You see these stickers here, but then I flip it over on the back, and you can see um, this tape on here. It says Blockbuster Videos SNES Kirby Superstar, and it's got like a UPC number, rent code N. And I left all that on here. I didn't try to remove it or anything. Of course, I don't have a box or a manual or anything for this game. But I remember with this was my first exposure to any Kirby game. I was, a young kid. The most advanced console I had was Super Nintendo. I think N64 might have been out already, but I didn't have it yet. I only played that at a friend's house. But I remember the first time that we rented this game. I think it was just like a couple day rental or maybe a weekend rental. But I was like totally enthralled with this game. Just how it has, it says 8 games in one, and it really does have 8 different games. Some of them are more substantial than others. Like the one that I really got into. I like Spring Breeze. That's like the easy one, and then the games unlock. Like you unlock the more advanced games once you beat the simpler ones. Like Spring Breeze is only I think 4 levels, but the design of this game is so it's the beauty of this is in its simplicity because the design is really good. Like there's like a token forest level and you fight Wispy Woods at the end, and then there's a token water level, and all the time you're learning how to how Kirby copies enemies with abilities and stuff, and he swallows them and he can turn into flame, and you learn which enemies turn into bomb Kirby and jet Kirby and all that. So you're learning and you're playing these like simple games. So it starts with Spring Breeze. Then there's another game that's more complex, and Spring Breeze just carries you from stage to stage. But the next one is called Dynablade, and it actually has an overworld like Kirby's Adventure, the one on NES from 1993, like that came out towards the end of the NES lifespan. But it was really an advanced NES game, one of the most advanced. It even has like parallax scrolling and all that.
Hmm.
So Dynablade has an overworld, and it even has like hidden levels. So it's kind of like playing Super Mario World, and you're going to hidden exits and stuff. And there's not 96 exits like there is in Super Mario World, but um, once you beat Dynablade, then you start to unlock the Great Cave Offensive, and that one is more like that's the one that really. I was like, man, this is awesome. I gotta, we ended up buying the game. Long story short, we just bought the game because it was more than we could sink our teeth into in one weekend. But um there's the Great Cave Offensive where you collect like 60 different treasures. If you get them all, you don't have to get them all, but you fight bosses along the way. But the fun was like finding all 60, trying to find every treasure and trying to like get to the secret areas and find them. And then there's, I think the final main area is called Milky Way Wishes, where it's more like a story mode, and you fight bosses. You fight King Dedede, you fight Meta Knight. Um, I know a lot of Kirby characters are in Smash Brothers, so a lot of people probably know them from that. They might not know them from the original game. And then you fight Marks, who's like one of the big bad bosses of Kirby universe. But the thing about this game is like the style is so good, the artwork is so good, the music is insanely good. Um, the composer, I don't want to get the name wrong. I think I'll look it up, but the composer did a lot of games and a lot of SNES games, and they were really good. Um, the composer's name is Jun Ishikawa, and I should have known that, but my mind went blank. But they do a lot of games for the SNES that you might not realize. So that's Kirby. That was my first exposure to it, and basically played it once and got hooked. And then the second game I want to show, while we're on this topic of Blockbuster, is Cool Spot. And as you can see, my cartridge is all marked up, and there's stickers all over it. And these stickers say, warning, if this label is broken, you must purchase this video. Obviously, these were all placed here by Blockbuster, and then
Yeah.
on the back of the disc it says, I can't read backwards, but it says, "Be a friend, rewind when you reach the end. Blockbuster Video. Wow, what a difference! Be a friend, rewind when you reach the end." And of course, you didn't grow up at that time and you didn't watch VHS tapes. Those stickers were applicable to your VHS tape, which after you watched the tape, you had to rewind the tape as a courtesy to the next person who was going to rent it
Hmm.
so that they can enjoy their video. They don't have to rewind it. And, a lot of the time when you rewind the tapes, that's when issues happen and you can break, something goes bad or you break the tape or whatever. That's just the stuff we had to deal with back in those times. This game, Cool Spot, I still like it to this day. It's a pretty fun game I enjoy, but it's definitely not Kirby level. There's another one of these on. This came out for the Genesis too, and it was slightly different. I think some of the levels were different, but I don't know. It might just be nostalgia talking since I grew up playing this. I think it's a good game. I don't think it's great. I would say maybe like a 6.5 out of 10. I'll say 6.5. It's got good music. Obviously, it was a lot of product placement going on for Seven Up, but it's pretty fun little platformer. And there's a lot of secrets and things to find. You could definitely do way worse with like a mascot platformer. That's what I would call that type of a game. But to me, the real novelty of these two carts, and I don't have boxes, I don't have manuals, because if you bought the game from Blockbuster, you probably weren't getting all that stuff unless you really lucked out. But the cool thing to me is just the artifacts, the fact that the company that's out of business now placed all this stickers and stuff on here, and just it's just a reminder, really, more than anything else. Um, any I know we've talked about Blockbuster, but does that bring back any memories of working there and shopping there?
Yes. So those it's so funny because they reuse those stickers for a lot of different things. That what they usually did was they used those stickers to hide the security tags under. On disc-based games like PlayStation, PlayStation 2, etc., etc. They put the stickers on the disc themselves, and if you try to remove it, it would destroy the disc. Stuff like that. Like, I was I worked at Blockbuster, but my mom also worked at Blockbuster when I was a kid. And so like, and this was during the height of the SNES. So like, I got to rent Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy 3, all those like RPGs, RoboTrek. I think I rented at one point. Like I got to rent all those different types of games for free because that was one of the benefits of working there. I think we got to see Nightmare Before Christmas for free, maybe. I don't remember, but like, yeah, it was like one of those things where it's so funny to see stuff like that. Yep.
Yep.
It was-
There's a Spring Breeze and Dyna Blade in this. This is back to the SNES Superpower book, but just kind of I mentioned the Great Cave Offensive. It's kind of more like the RPG, and then Gourmet Race. I think a lot of people are familiar with Gourmet Race, or it's kind of like a funny little, there's like a really speedy song, and I mentioned Jun Ishikawa, and there's a lot of like really speedy Kirby songs. It's just kind of cool. There's a Revenge of Meta Knight. That's the scenario with Meta Knight. I don't think I even mentioned that one. Milky Way Wishes. A lot of like big boss fights and stuff that you'll encounter along the way. And then you have Megaton Punch, which is like a two-player game. You can see who can punch the hardest, and it's funny because you actually kind of like split the earth in half with how like, you can see they're splitting the arena in half. But when you get the highest megatons, you like actually split the world in half, and it shows that to you.
Mhm.
Um, what else is here? The arena. I think that's just like a boss rush. And then you have Samurai Kirby, which is basically like a test of your reflexes to see like if you can be faster than the CPU. And if you are, then you win. And it's like a round based thing. It tells you how to unlock all the features here. Like like I mentioned, like once you
Mhm.
beat once you beat one area, you unlock the other, which is kind of ahead of its time for an old SNES game. I meant to look and see when did this. There's if there was a year. I think the year is covered up. Nope, it does say. It says
1990.
1991,
Oh,
91, 92 Nintendo at the very top. It says. So I mean, for that time to have like unlockable stuff like hidden behind, like you complete something to unlock something else is kind of something I hadn't seen before.
yeah.
There's a picture of the Super Famicom cover for the Kirby
Mhm.
game. Same game. Uh, Here's the PAL cover, I guess. Um, they have some concept Kirby's that weren't actually in the game. Like Mantle Kirby was definitely not in the game. Flower Kirby's not in the game. Card Kirby is not in the game.
Which would be used later.
How about this? Some crowd cameos that you can see in the Megaton Punch background. And of course, I noticed these when I was playing. Like, there's Mario, Luigi, Toad, Shy Guys, uh, and so on. Um, Birdo is there. Um, Even remember we were talking about Superstar Saga not long ago. Guess what you can find as a little background in Superstar Saga? You see the posters on the wall. There's
Hmm.
a Kirby Superstar poster right there on the wall. Yeah, um, just a few memories of that game. And then you said you had one final item for us.
Yes, 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 yes. Oops. Bam. All right. So the last thing I'm going to show, it's going to be quick, but so I got this for my birthday a couple of years ago because I really wanted it, and I'm a huge Pokemon fan. And I paid like 250 at the time, but I really wanted it. It's the 20th anniversary edition of the 3DS. Uh, and I really wanted the Famicom coloring. Oh, wait, wrong finger. So, I was like, yes, that is what I want.
That's
And
really cool.
what's cool is this cover this cover comes off, and there's actually another cover that has Blastoise on it that is here, but it's also compatible with all the other 3DS covers as well. And I love this thing, man. Like I have it fully uh modded out and all that jazz. And I have it complete in box. So I have everything that goes with it, even the AR cards. Actually, the ones that are in it are actually unopened, but I do have the AR cards. And I looked it up on eBay recently, and it goes for like $1,000 now. So it's like one of those things where it's like I would want to keep it as long as possible. But also, the thing that sucks is um, the battery's going bad on it, so I had to buy a new battery. And yeah, somebody's trying to sell an open box, complete in box for $2,000, but I don't think it's sold for that. I'm looking right now.
Did you use that one a lot for the battery to degrade? I haven't had
Mhm.
that happen to mine yet. That's why I'm asking. I'm anxious for the day that I'm gonna have to get a new battery for my 3DS.
Holy shit. Yeah, I did use it a lot. Because mine, even though mine was opened, it was brand new. It was like brand new. So I've used it quite a bit. The highest selling one that I'm seeing is 1750. So yeah, it's nuts how expensive this
Um,
is. And it's to the point where I think I'm going to retire it and get a 2DS XL and just have this on my shelf so I don't like do any more damage to it because it's so awesome. I love it so much. I'm probably never gonna get rid of it. There are batteries on eBay on Amazon that I could buy. I try to get them through Nintendo, but they don't sell 3DS batteries at all. They sell it for the other one, the regular 3DS, I think, but not this one. And I was very sad because I actually bought a bunch of 3DS batteries, but they didn't fit. I could use like a piece of paper and it would like hold it in place, but I didn't want to risk like burning out the system or anything. But anyway, that's all I got. So what you got
oh,
to wrap this
Justin,
up?
um, to wrap up, I've got um, I've got so much that I want to show, but I'm going to show you a game that I picked up a long time ago. Um, this is a PC game,
Mm,
and it is this one here, Forgotten Realms, Icewind Dale.
nice.
This is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. This is from the year 2000, and that's about when I picked it up. I
Hmm.
have to double check. I'll have to double check which rule set this followed for Dungeons and Dragons because it's one of the
I
older ones.
think it's
It's no
3.
longer applicable. Yeah, we'll double check on that. There's the disc. That's one of the discs. This is disc two. I don't know where disc one is at the moment. but I'm sure it's around somewhere. There's a disc 2 for Icewind Dale. This thing was, man, it was basically life changing for me for gaming. From a
Mhm.
gaming point of view, I just never played a game like this ever. Um, this is like a, most of the RPGs that we grew up with are JRPGs. They're from, Japanese developers, but this is the Western take on RPG.
Mhm.
And a lot of people will know that, Ultima, if you really look at the history of RPGs, you have Wizardry, you have Ultima, and it really wasn't a Japanese thing until you had Dragon Quest and Dragon Warrior, and then you had Final Fantasy. So it was really kind of taken from these other um,
Mhm.
different different franchises and whatnot, and different IPs. But this, Forgotten Realms and AD&D follows alongside more of that Wizardry and Ultima style vein. This is a this manual is 160 pages that it came with of instructions and how to play the game, and I will tell you that there is a severe learning curve if you have never played a game like this. You can't just start playing it and you won't know what's going on. But yeah, it tells you it has a very deep story. I mean, if you think about like Oblivion or Morrowind or Skyrim, that's probably what I would say would be a modern equivalent to
Mhm.
Icewind Dale. But I mean, it's got a whole story, a whole intro. It's even like handwritten, like scribbled in there, like it's supposed to be, like
Mhm.
quasi handwritten. How to use it. It even tells you how to use this manual. Like I've never seen that in a manual before. Like it should be self-explanatory, but it just says this manual
Oh,
is intended as a reference guide for Icewind Dale, not something that needs to be read cover to cover. Refer to it when you need to. Um, it's divided into two parts: the lexicon, which gives you information on character creation, interface, and running games, and then the spine of the world, which gives you information on Icewind Dale. Um, this is back when you had to have DirectX you had to have DirectX on your computer to run it.
um,
All you had to have to run this game was Windows 95 or DOS 6.2. Um, so that tells you, how old it is.
the other thing
But
is I looked it up because I saw FACO, and that's a second edition D&D thing, so it's from second edition.
yep. And then TACO is means the number you need to hit armor class 0. So
Hmm.
just some things I remembered from playing D&D. If you've ever played a game like this, you start the game by creating your character, which is really popular nowadays. In every game you play, you start by creating your character, but the character creation is really detailed, and you have dice rolls, and you can, if you don't like it, you can re-roll until you like what you get. But I like that you can pause this game anytime. You can pause the game and then set up your next spells and whatnot. Like there's a black and white image of what the game screen would look like.
Hmm.
Um, your like character portraits over here, and all your different icons that let you see your journal and the map of the world and everything on the other side. You can always pause and set up like your magic. The battles are very interesting. I really like the battle system. I like the maps, how detailed everything is. Um, there's a bestiary. This guide just goes on and on. There's, you know, a lot of lore, a whole
Hmm.
lot of lore for these. Um, it even shows you every magic spell in the game, and there are so many. And that's one of the things I really enjoyed about this. And like, I was like always wanting to know what's that do, what's that magic do, what this. I like to have a couple magic users. I think you have 6 party members in a full party in this game,
Mm.
and so it'd be good to have a couple magic users. And there's priests, there's wizards, mages, etc. So some of them are using. Just to give you an idea, you can see it here. There's alteration, evocation, necromancy. There's summoning. There's offensive magics. There's more defensive style magics. There's conjurings. Um, and then every character has like an alignment, whether they're good or evil or neutral or chaotic good. There's divinations, like which would be what a priest used. There's enchantments, charms. Um, yeah, here's like a whole thing that's written up in cursive, like on different items and what they do, and I can't even begin to try and read that print, but it's got its own index in the back and everything. So yeah, this is the instruction manual that came with the game. And then on that note, I'm kind of speeding through this because we're going long here. Later in life, I found and had to pick up this little gem,
Oh, nice.
which
Yeah.
is a PS4 pre-owned. I got this for $17.99 at GameStop. Um, Planescape Torment, which I have never played to this day, and Icewind Dale Enhanced Edition on the same disc. Um, I haven't started this game because I'm a little nervous about, and I'll just say one thing about me is that on my PlayStation profile, I only start games that I 100% complete, and I have actually stuck to that. And I have not. There's no game that I've started on PS5 that I didn't get the platinum, or PS4 that I didn't get the platinum on. And I'm very nervous about playing this game on hardest difficulty because I'm pretty sure that's required for some of the trophies. That's a story for another day, but I haven't yet. I might just play it on like another profile or something, so I don't have to 100% this game. But just
Yeah.
so I can enjoy it. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure what makes the enhanced edition different from the basic edition. But I'm interested to get into that, and I'm interested to play Planescape Torment. And then one last thing, this is ties into Forgotten Realms, and it ties into Icewind Dale. Is this book that I read when I was younger? I can't remember which came first. I can't remember if I bought Icewind Dale and got real interested in that first, or if I read this book and then I was like, I have to play this game first. But R.A. Salvatore is a very
Well
popular and
known.
well-known author.
Well known. Yes.
Well-known author for Forgotten Realms. So this is the Dark Elf trilogy collector's edition, and that Dark Elf on the cover here is Drizzt Do'Urden,
Hmm.
who's well-known. But This is a huge book. It's a really big book. I read the whole thing from cover to cover. I think it is a trilogy. So I read this from cover to cover when I was younger. It has 808 pages.
Wow.
If you don't believe me, it's 808. It was I never had read any fantasy writings that I enjoyed. I mean, there's so much out there, but I never like it didn't hit me the way this one hit me. Like it was a really compelling read. Highly recommend it. It was very immersive. Like I felt like I was in the dark. I think it like the Underdark or wherever,
Hmm.
in like struggling environment where there's all these different castes of elves, and it was just a really good read. It's been many years since I read this, so I can't give you much specifics. I just remember Drizzt, but
The one and only.
I definitely had a huge obsession with Forgotten Realms and AD&D when I was younger, and it really like led me in a different gaming direction than maybe not the most orthodox. It's not like, oh, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo is a whole different direction off to left field, I guess you could say. But they know how to make games. I mean, they really it's just a
Hmm.
different type of experience. If you like RPGs, there's a lot more out there than just your JRPGs, your traditional ones. But if you haven't played AD&D or Forgotten Realms, you should check it out. Maybe Baldur's Gate. That's a huge one that's taken off. Game of the
Oh,
year, I
it's
think.
very good. Very good.
And but that is going to do it for us today. We've gone very long again, which we promised we wouldn't. But guys, like the video, leave us a comment. Let us know if you enjoy these type of long form videos. Let us know if you think the videos are too long. We hope you're going to subscribe to our channel. Check us out on all our socials. You can find us on YouTube, Twitch, Substack, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and more that I'm probably forgetting. See you guys next time.
Laters.